Today we're taking a look at actually six things. Six. That's a pretty big fucking number, but they're all actually very small. And four of them are very not important actually, but the other two are quite important. They just got released. The Hammond collection, Velociraptor and Troodon. These are the two main things that we'll be taking a look at today. Yeah, I actually don't know where you can order these right now, but they are in Targets. In Vegas, at least, they are. And yeah. And we're going to be taking a look at the Troodon first. So let's get the opening knife because I gotta open the box. And this is actually not my first Hammond collection figure. Actually, this is not even my second one. This is like my fifth one. So, expecting a lot here out of this one because it's quite new, and they have not made anything like this yet, so expectations are high. Let me get it out of the box really quick. Okay, and now that it's out of the box, here you go. This is the Jurassic Park Hammond Collection Troodon figure. It looks pretty good. The paint application is very nice along the back, and the face has some pretty good paint applications. The mouth looks pretty good. It's got a hinge joint right there for the opening mouth. The eyes are a little bit dead. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of looks like he's fucking dead. Also features a hinge joint at the head. You can look down that far and look up very far. And then he's also can swivel at the neck, so he can get some pretty good side to side until it's, it's fairly unlimited what the fuck his head can do here, but hinge joint, and then you can look up that far and then down that far, right? Working with the neck, you can also get him to look down excruciatingly far and very animal-like, and also very high up. He can actually almost look fucking backwards. So there you go. It's also got a hinge joint at the arm, which lets him go open like that, and then a hinge joint at the elbow, which obviously not every. Oh no, I lied. They are all on hinge joints that can swivel. His leg appears to be a actual ball joint, maybe. It's a little hard to tell because he can, he can kick, actually, maybe a full 360. Yeah, he can do a full 360, which is obviously not existent in nature. And then he's got another hinge joint at the, that's not the kneecap, but that is the kneecap. And then a hinge joint at the claw. Speaking of the claws, the paint is pretty good at the claws. It's very dark. He's got speckles and everything. He also has a ball joint at the tail, and in signature Hammond collection style, he does have a bendy wire. A little tiny one because he's a very tiny figure, which leads into the next segment, if I could get him to stand fucking upright for a millisecond, is size comparison. Give me just a second to get him stood up here. A figure I have not gone over yet. This is the Hammond Collection Velociraptor Ghost next to him. So he's a little bit taller than the Ghost. Here is a red Solo cup filled with iced tea. And here is my inhaler. There you go. So that's the Troodon. He's pretty cool. I would definitely recommend getting him if you're a slight fan. The paint application, like I said, is pretty good. Don't know why the fuck his eyes are so dead. If I grab my little light, you can literally just see that his eyes are literally just dead. There's nothing going on in those eyes at all. But yeah, there you go. That's the Jurassic Park Hammond collection. That's the Troodon out of the way. I don't know for sure if I'll be reviewing the Stygimoloch because the Stygimoloch is not a dinosaur I like. I'm not a fan of it. So up next is the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Hammond Collection velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3. Also, what's coming out soon, maybe a review soon, if I spend $60, is going to be the Jurassic Park 3, the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus, which I am buying for sure, because I'm a fan of the Spinosaurus in general. And let's get this guy out of the packaging. But yeah, so he's coming out soon as well. Just pretty fucking hype, because he's supposed to be bigger than the Giganotosaurus figure, which I do own. Maybe a review. I do own that figure as well. I also as well own the Hammond Collection Allosaurus and the Velociraptor Ghost, as you previously saw. But yeah, so that figure is alright. I'm going to put the box to the side. Nothing special on the boxes, really. It shows more of the promotional images and stuff like that, and a little bit of a detail on what the dinosaur was like in the movie or franchise. Hammond Collection figures come with the tails usually disassembled from the main part of the figure. So let's go ahead and get the super Jesus Christ tight tail into the figure there, and here we go. So this is the Hammond Collection Velociraptor. This is the third time or fourth time they've released just a Velociraptor figure, I believe. And I actually do like this one a lot more than the other ones. Obviously the paint and the color looks great on this, and the stripes are amazingly good. The eyes do not look dead like the Troodon. You can actually see a eyelid there, or a pupil in there, which is nice. The hinge joint on his mouth is a little off, it seems, actually. Maybe a production error from my copy. Seems like he has too much plastic, because he does not want to close the right way. Huh, interesting. He closes straight, but sometimes he opens, and when you try and close him, he looks a little like a little bit of a fucking lip there. But yeah, he opens pretty wide. It's a hinge joint as well. The mouth looks alright. Looks like every other Velociraptor they've released so far. Other than that, the paint and everything, nothing too special. Now on to the articulation. So we got a hinge joint at the mouth, like I said before. That's a little bit off on mine specifically. Hopefully that's not production-wide issue, but fuck, maybe if it wants to close today, we could move on. There is another hinge joint at the head, which is also can swivel, fairly unlimited, literally unlimited. He can look up that far, and he can look down not at all, which is a Velociraptor thing they chose for the joints, which is why I don't like them that much. He also has a hinge joint at the base of the neck, which adds no amount of articulation. He has a hinge joint at the shoulder, which is which you can obviously swivel, and then a hinge joint at the elbow. His hands look pretty good. The claws and everything look nice too. And then go ahead and get to the hip. The leg here and the hip. There's no midsection joint, which is not that big of a deal. Obviously, it's not meant to be the most articulated, but it seems like he has maybe a ball joint at the hip, just like the Troodon. He has a hinge joint at the kneecap that's not actually the kneecap, and then a hinge joint at the talons and the foot. So he can get pretty good running pose. He's got a decent pivot because of the... Holy shit, he has an insane pivot because of the swivel and the hinge joint here. He can get some insanely good pivot, and working in tandem with the swivel at the hinge joint, you can get him out pretty damn far. Unhuman, unanimal-like, really, but yeah, obviously swivels at the, at the ankle do not exist in real life. And then a ball joint at the tail, and like I said before, in typical Hammond collection fashion, he has a really good bendy wire, apparently. Jesus Christ. And you can get some pretty nice natural curvaceous, not curvaceous, curvature, nice curvature out of this guy. Posability is alright on this guy. Pretty much exactly like the other Hammond collection velociraptors. What I do like about this guy a little bit more is his neck is propped up just a tiny bit higher, so he actually does look like a velociraptor. Unlike the other velociraptor that I own personally, Atrociraptor, the ghost, he's kind of just looking in a direction, if you can't tell. Which obviously with them standing right next to each other, this leads into a great portion for the size comparison time. This is the Jurassic Park Hammond Collection Atrociraptor Ghost. This is my previous review, the Hammond Collection Troodon. And there seems to be a very distinct height difference only because of the neck. And then, just like previously mentioned, this is my red Solo Cup that has tea in it. There you go. Okay, and this is editing me now. So, I am actually editing right now as we speak. A little bit more about the Hammond Collection stuff that I didn't get to go over very briefly. I wanted to go over it. First off, completely scratched going over the previous things. They are no longer in the video. That'll have to be another time. Using a stand, this is not included with any of the Hammond Collection figures. This is a completely separate figure. Using the stand, you can actually get some pretty decent poses with this guy in the air because he has that pretty good bendy wire, like I said. And if you can go ahead and get it wrapped around him, he has some pretty good poses for the air. You can get him in some nice jumping poses, and you can obviously work all of these swivels and all of these basically ball joints at this point, because that's basically what you can do with him, to get him to, look like he is, jumping at a person or at something, to get him in, certain poses. Obviously, I don't know if a Troodon would do that, but using, same stand, if you have a stand that has a clip arm, you could get the Troodon into the same types of poses as well. Just wanted to point that out. If you do have a stand, you could also do that. And, other than that, thank you guys for watching, and there will be another review out as soon as I can get one out. So